My last Final Fantasy 14 video did really good, and thank you guys for watching. If you didn't watch it, you should probably go watch it right now. Anyways, I was going through the comments, and a lot of the comments were saying stuff like, hey, let's do a playthrough. I'm gonna be honest, I'm not a playthrough type of guy. But you know what I can do is an update video. There's just one slight problem with the update video. I kind of haven't played Final Fantasy 14 since I made the last video. Yes, I'm a loser, I'm a chud, I'm everything in between. You can say whatever you want, but I got back into it. And this is how it went. Just a little disclaimer, by the way, this video will have spoilers concerning the MSQ. Also, subscribe. It was time to continue my Final Fantasy 14 journey, and it came to a short halt because of the amount of pop-ups in my face. After clicking through all those prompts, though, I made the grand decision to change my character just a little bit. With a change of makeup, I swiftly turned my character into a straight baddie. Following the completion of the slight makeover of my character, I queued up a duty roulette. Since it's been a while, I wanted to ease back into tanking, and I kind of felt as if I had forgotten pretty much everything. And that was pretty clear once I got into the dungeon. Oh wait, how do I activate? Oh god. How do I activate my abilities? Oh geez. So yeah, I struggled with the controls just a little bit at the beginning, but there was something else I realized while clearing the dungeon. I don't know how to actually tank. When I say tank, I don't mean spam the abilities, because everybody can spam abilities, but I felt like maybe I could use my abilities more efficiently, maybe I could pull better, and maybe I could do more for my team as a tank, especially since it feels kind of important to know these type of things as a tank, and since I'm first timing, my inexperience kind of comes into play here. I also think I have tankxiety, and that's not ideal. Tankxiety just means you have anxiety as a tank, and especially in your performance as a tank. That is not something I want to deal with. That sounds horrible, okay? I do not want that. So what did I do to combat this? I researched. I watched a bunch of videos on how to properly tank in Final Fantasy 14, and these videos were packed with information, and really good information at that. So if you're an aspiring tank player or you just suck at tank like me, give these videos a try. They seriously help. And after watching these videos, I'm pretty excited to see how well I'll do as a tank in the next upcoming dungeon. But before we do any more tanking, I decided to do my character over again. But I didn't change my hair or my makeup. This time I swapped my entire race. And my reaction to the initial character I made was, it wasn't the best. Let's just say that. I look so goddamn generic. Oh my god. Look at me. I'm wearing peasant clothes. Yeah, I look like an NPC, to be honest. I'm gonna walk around and tell me if you can tell if I'm an NPC or a character.
Where are you at?
Hey, don't think I've seen you before. Hey, over here.
Is it
over here? Over here.
Wait, you're just...
Hey, it seemed pretty clear I had to change my character. I didn't like looking like an NPC, and luckily I still had the opportunity to completely redo my character. I went back to the drawing board, and I came out with something I was a little bit more satisfied with. With the completion of my new character, me and my party decided to queue up a dungeon, and it was time for me to finally put my new tank research into practice. And let's just say, I did not do the best. Oh wait, what the f is happening?
Are you throwing on purpose?
No, what's happening to me? I guess I can't drag that much. So I tried the pull, and for the first time ever, obviously I didn't do too well, but trust me, I get so much better at tanking, and you'll see that throughout the video. We ended up completing the dungeon without a hitch, and it was very clear I need to brush up on my tank skills. I continued to progress the MSQ. There was this one line of dialogue from Ilber that kind of hit me. Dare I say, I felt like he might be foreshadowing something, and I don't know. I'm not gonna dive too much into the MSQ in this video, but I will gloss over a few things. We need to put a pause on that MSQ though, because another problem has came up, and that problem is the fact that I have horrible armor on. I hate how it looks, so you know what we need to do? We need to go get some Glamour Prisms. Glamour Prisms, for those who don't know, basically just change the look of a certain item into something you want it to look like. It's just a way of translogging. Now at this point, I didn't really have a steady source of Glamour Prisms, especially since I'm on the free trial, so I don't really have access to the player market at all, and I think a lot of people do sell Glamour Prisms on there, but I did find a way to unlock Glamour Prisms, especially as a free trial player. So this was the plan. Basically, if I reach a high enough rank within the grand companies, they can offer Glamour Prisms in their shops. So in order to get a high enough rank, I grinded rigorously. I mean, I'm doing optional dungeons with NPCs in order to get my hands on these Glamour Prisms. And it was a crazy grind. But I finally unlocked them. Boom! Oh my god, there you go. I can buy Glamour Prisms now. Yes, 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 yes. That's how you rise the ranks. Yes. Yes. Yes, yeah. So as you could tell, I was pretty geeked. I mean, this is an exciting time. I could finally put a somewhat decent fit on without having an amalgamation of random armor I got from quests. The next upgrade I decided to pursue wasn't in-game, but rather outside the game, or technically, I guess. I made the huge decision of upgrading from being a free trial player to a subscription player. This means I wouldn't have restrictions on certain things like a friends list or a money cap, and that I had access to literally every expansion within the game. This was an amazing deal because there's also a sale going on where the game was 50% off. So at this point, I am no longer a free trial player. I know, save the applause. I felt like a new man after becoming a paid player and continued on with the MSQ. I speedran through a few trials, which really, honestly, just feels like filler content. I mean, I am in the patch after the first expansion finished, so I guess it makes sense. I got to this dungeon where we fought off dragons and eventually Midgar Summer's soul or something. It was clear this questline was all for setting up Heavensward, the next expansion, which is about the war between dragons and people from Ishgard. I'm pretty geeked for that expansion, to be honest. Finishing up that dungeon, I received a quest that would end up unlocking a place that was pretty important. This specific place was important because it would be my first ever introduction to raids within Final Fantasy XIV. Not to mention, they don't make you do just one raid, not just 2 raids, they make you do 3 whole raids in a row. These raids have 24 people inside them. So when I heard about these raids, I was scared, okay? I mean, I already have problems being a tank in a dungeon, so me being a tank within these raids that have 24 people inside them was on a completely different scale. This place that has all 3 consecutive raids inside it is called the The Crystal Tower was something I had to take on. No matter how scary or anxiety-inducing it was, this was something that needed to be completed. In order to properly prepare for the raids within the Crystal Tower, I watched a bunch of videos surrounding the mechanics of the raids. And then it was finally time to begin my descent into the Crystal Tower. So me and my party queued it up. It took a while for it to pop, but once it did, it was time to try raids for the very first time in Final Fantasy XIV. Going into the first raid, I didn't realize how important cooperation between all these different players was. Obviously, team cooperation is emphasized within MMOs, but I didn't think it would be as important as it would be in these raids. I've also got to say, I really felt the pressure being one of 3 tank players in the whole raid, but the first raid went surprisingly well. Most of the time, I wasn't even the one being the main tank, so it felt like my nervousness was slowly dissipating. After finishing the first raid, I kinda had an epiphany at the end of it. Having 24 people in the raid isn't something to be nervous about. It's something to be confident about. At first, I had thought that such a large number of people would mean that everyone would just be watching and criticizing my gameplay like they were just watching me in specific, but I kind of had it twisted. 24 people means that there are a lot of players that can compensate and make up for mistakes while also guiding you towards your objectives. Not to mention, they also have their own gameplay to worry about, so these large-scale raids were starting to feel not as intimidating. I swept through the second raid pretty easily, feeling noticeably not as nervous as I did in the first raid. After all, I wasn't in charge of main tanking most of the time, but that would change pretty soon. The next and final raid awaiting me needed me to main tank. Luckily, these past 2 raids have really given me the experience I needed, and I was ready to take this on pretty confidently. So me and my party entered the 3rd and final raid of the Crystal Tower. We progressed through the beginning levels of the final raid with ease, and then it finally came time for me to main tank. Turns out I was in charge of main tanking Cerberus, and let's just say I think I learned some new things since my last few tank mishaps. I was a little nervous going into this, I'll admit, but it was time to finally apply my new tanking knowledge. Right off the bat, I take the aggro of the boss and then run directly through it, that way it wasn't facing the entire alliance. After directing the boss away from the raid group, I then stay completely still to stop the boss from moving sporadically. To top it off, throughout the entire boss fight, I didn't spam my mitigation abilities, but rather spaced them out using them one by one. It's so weird because all these little tanking tips are totally basic knowledge, but I finally got a hang of it. We managed to take down Cerberus pretty easily, and we proceeded to the final boss. We finished it off, completing this long trilogy of raids. I have conquered the Crystal Tower, and to be honest, it wasn't so bad. With the completion of the Crystal Tower, I carried on with the MSQ until I reached a climax in the story. A climax where there would be a long multitude of cutscenes played. It literally even gave me a warning beforehand about the sheer amount of cutscenes that we're gonna play back to back. What you're about to see is major MSQ spoilers, you've been warned, and my reaction to most of it. I really felt like this was one of the peaks in Final Fantasy XIV's MSQ, at least to me, as far as I am in the story. So, here we go. Oh no. The fucking wavelengths in his brain changed. Oh, we're dead, dude. Oh, it's this guy. Bro, he's the one who killed her.
You did this.
Oh, hell no. The hell, I'm actually being arrested for this? Oh. Oh. Bro, they're in cahoots. What? No. Yo, I'm not gonna lie, this guy go to hell, bro.
Accused of poisoning Her Royal Majesty Nanamo Ul Namo. From hell.
What? Wait a minute. Wait, he got slimed out? Holy sh... Oh my god. Oh no! Oh my god. No, this cannot be. What the hell's happening? This is insane. Oh. Oh my god, wait, Ramon's OP as hell.
But there is more to this than I yet understand.
There will be ample time for soul searching later. For now, we must put some moms between us and Uldar.
Wait, this guy might be a goated Lalafell.
Well, would you look who it is?
Oh my god, it is the guy from the start of the game.
As exciting as the last
Oh
trip
my
we took.
god.
Not if I
dreamed of bringing about Eorzea's salvation, but in the end...
Damn, this shit hit an alpha now. All I have to say is wow. Just wow. I really did not expect things to unfold like that at all, and the whole splitting up of the Scions was insane. This whole turn of events within the plot was genuinely amazing, and it caught me off guard completely. In one fell swoop, we lost our friends, the government within our Aldad changed, and we seemed to be without a goal. But when it seemed all hope was lost, it was clear there was one place we had left to go. This was a step in a completely new expansion. It's time we go. I was really looking forward to this. A whole new plethora of content, characters, areas, and story. There wasn't a reason not to be excited about this expansion. I had heard that Heavensward was a step up from A Realm Reborn, so by those means, I already have high expectations for it. To keep it short and sweet, I thought A Realm Reborn was pretty okay. And that's it. I really wanted to see how this next expansion would measure up, and ultimately it would dictate something very important. If I would enjoy it enough to stay and keep playing, or to completely drop Final Fantasy XIV as a whole. That is how significant the story is to me. And Heavensward came out swinging, changing something pretty noticeable in the characters immediately.
The dawn's light will shine again. So long as we have these specious accusations hanging over us, we will struggle to achieve anything.
Wait, they changed his voice acting.
You must go to Ishgard, as Tataru proposed.
Oh my god.
I will...
Oh my god, they changed Tachiro's voice acting too. These new voice actors are so much better for these characters, and it really makes them feel more proper and immersive within the story. With my friends and their newfound voices, we journeyed into Ishgard in hopes of finding a way to revive the Scions. Me and my party did a dungeon together, and I finally reached one of the conditions I've been meaning to hit. You see, I've been secretly thinking about swapping to a different tank class the entire time. I was really used to Warrior, but I had grown a little bored of it and wanted to try something new. When I hit level 60, it was that time to take on another job. But before we get to that, I felt the urge to change up my character's physical appearance. Yes, again, sue me. I came out with a character I thought looked cool as hell and started the job quest. In case you couldn't tell, I wanted to try my hand at being a gunbreaker. They look insanely swaggy, and after completing the quest and getting some new gunbreaker armor, that just proved my point. I mean, look at this gear. It looks amazing. However, swapping to a new job entirely was going to be a little challenging to me. And not to mention, I've heard a few words that this new class I took on was particularly difficult. Despite the complexity that's behind the gunbreaker, I still wanted to try it for myself, and at worst, I could simply just go back to being a warrior whenever I wanted. Since I'm already picking up one new job, I figured I might as well pick up another one while I'm at it. I quickly did the Dark Knight questline in order to unlock it, and came across probably the scariest cutscene I've seen in this game. Oh god, I knocked... Yeah, oh my, what the... Okay, that's actually scary. It's probably not that scary to you guys, but I wake up and this freak is literally peering into my soul. I mean, what is this guy's problem? After dealing with that weirdo, I attempted a dungeon as a gunbreaker, and really, it doesn't feel too complicated. Obviously, I'm not a pro by any means, and I am most definitely messing up these combos. So if you are a gunbreaker main, avert your eyes from this gameplay immediately. I really am enjoying the differences between this job and being a warrior, and having to put more thought into what buttons I actually mash in certain sequences. At some point, I'm sure I'll get to know the proper combos and the way to efficiently use my powder gauge. That being said though, I still enjoy the simplicity of warrior and its straightforward gameplay, so I can really see myself juggling the two jobs in the future. Dark Knight, on the other hand, is a job I'm not messing with too much. Mostly because that job in particular starts at level 30 and I'm way too lazy to grind up that XP. Enough with the XP talk, we pushed onwards in the dungeon I mentioned earlier, finally reaching Nidhogg. This guy is a pretty big problem in Heavensward's plot, so we definitely had to take him down. I know despite how much I emphasize Heavensward's story being important to me, and it still is, I haven't really mentioned the MSQ in great detail. That's mostly because I'd rather mention specific important points in the story at surface level rather than doing a whole in-depth review of it. That would just take way too long. To make up for the lack of information I've given about the campaign thus far, I wanted to give you guys an update on my thoughts concerning the expansion. And I've gotta say, I am thoroughly enjoying it. From the characters to the plot, everything really seems like a huge improvement from A Realm Reborn. The characters feel much more lively, have more personality, and great interactions with the other characters. They are more fleshed out with the writing, with characters actually having differing beliefs like Isael and Estenine. I totally messed up the pronunciation there, but you know who I'm talking about. I love how Tataro is on a mission to get leads on our missing Scion friends, and how Alphino is on this journey with us to help Ishgard in its ongoing political problems. This really makes the adventure feel way more grand. The whole Dragonsong War is really interesting and ties perfectly into the corruption of Ishgard's government. Yet regardless of how much I'm appreciating Heavensward, I am ultimately challenged by a concept that cannot be paused no matter what. That concept I'm talking about is time. If you remember earlier in the video, I bought Final Fantasy XIV Complete Edition, and that came with a subscription of 30 days. I wasn't planning on renewing the subscription because I've realized I'm someone who likes to play the game in short bursts rather than playing consistently over a long period of time. My goal once I had gotten a real subscription was to finish Heavensward within the given amount of time, and unfortunately, I was running out of that. This was truly a race against the clock. With the time ticking on my subscription, I tried quickly getting through the expansion while also trying to enjoy the story. The days passed by, and the amount of time I had left to enjoy Final Fantasy XIV in its entirety became scarce. My party and I reached one of the last few dungeons in Heavensward, witnessing the fall of one of our most treasured comrades, Haurchefant. He was there before even day one of entering Ishgard, but he was a real hero to the end. I really liked him as a character. Shortly after his death, it became clear how corrupt Ishgard's government was, and it was our time to play the part of savior. We had to chase down Archbishop Thornton, and this further clarified how close I was to ending this arc. As urgent as it was to eliminate him, another task appeared on our table: the retrieval of a Scion friend, Y'shtola. I was extremely ecstatic to have Y'shtola back. I wanted to hear her new voice and see how the story would treat her as a character. I was especially eager to see her new outfit. Let's just say, I would not be disappointed at all when it came to these things. Y'shtola! Whoa. Oh, snap. We gotta upgrade her drip though. And what happened to her eye? She's like blind or something.
You are safe. Thank the 12.
Her voice.
Something has changed about you, Alphino.
Yeah, it's his voice actor.
Tell me.
Oh, Y'shtola's new drip. Hold on now. Wait, she looks tough as hell. I really like Y'shtola's new design, and it gets me excited to see what the other Scions might look like later down the future. Our reunion was short-lived, however, because we had a corrupt leader to go after. We had to follow some leads on how to get into Azius La, the place where Archbishop Thornton and his loyalists were currently at. Unfortunately, there was some sort of like barrier around the area preventing us from entering, so we had to find a solution to that. At this point, I was very exhausted, so I decided to end my gaming session for the night. The following morning, I logged into Final Fantasy XIV, ready to take on this expansion, only to be hit by the most devastating message I've seen in my short MMO career. I think I have 1 day left on Final Fantasy, or like 2 days. I don't know how it like counts or checks. Shiva, holy moly. This would serve as a scarier reminder of how I was really running out of time to finish Heavensward. With a singular day remaining, I tried to complete as much content as possible in the main story. We managed to break through the barrier preventing us from entering Azias La, bearing witness to yet another sacrifice of a companion. Isael transformed into Shiva, helping protect her airship from the Garlean Empire and getting shot down in the process. She was a real one, and I really liked how she ultimately wanted to see the dragons and Ishgardians coexist in peace. With us being able to get past the barrier, it was finally time to take down this corrupted leader. I navigated through Azias La and finally reached the last dungeon in the whole expansion. If I were to complete this dungeon, I'd be able to do the last trial following it and mark the end of Heavensward. I was that close. Sadly, my Final Fantasy XIV journey stops here. I would not have the time to complete this last dungeon, nor see the end to this arc. A singular day was not enough to finish this expansion. This would be the end. Until I was given a lifeline. You see, I procrastinated editing this video for so long that Final Fantasy XIV ended up hosting a free login campaign. This campaign basically entails that players would be able to play for roughly 4 days, free of charge, and that would serve as more than enough time to finish Heavensward. So I did exactly that. Within those 4 days, I completed the last dungeon and trial of Heavensward. We took down Archbishop Thornton and helped provide a more secure future to Ishgard. This would mark the beautiful conclusion to my adventure in Final Fantasy XIV. For now. I don't plan on making any more Final Fantasy XIV videos right now, but that could change later down the future. If you watched the entire video, thank you so much. I put off editing this video for literal months, and honestly, I have no excuse for it, but I'll try my best to be more consistent. Thank you guys so much for 1,000 subscribers, by the way. It was literally one of the most joyous moments in my life, and I can't thank you guys enough. Seriously. I really hope you guys enjoyed this video, and if you guys have any suggestions on what you'd like to see from me, go ahead and give me a comment below. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.
Oh my god, oh god, oh god. Oh my god.